Rod, thanks for going to talk to the Pi News.
It's quite all right.
Please tell me, how did you conceive of the idea for Navitas originally?
Oh, I think it came about, I was working in the international education game, watching students flow into Australia in particular, and watching how few of them seemed to be able to successfully transition from where they'd come from to where they wanted to be, which was successful students in university. And something like 70% of them were failing subjects in their first semester, principally not through academic issues. It was really more about all those transitional issues of a different country, different culture, different education system. And the environment of the university actually didn't give them what they needed to effectively transition. So the idea we came up with was about providing for them the right environment which gave them the help and support to move through that first year program and get to where they really wanted to be, which is successful students in the mainstream university.
Thanks. And did you conceive of the idea of Navitas being a global brand 20 years later?
No, I think our first priority was to establish a single college with our first university, and that was really the end of the strategy. But it was so successful, and I found we were being approached almost daily from universities around Australia who were watching what we were doing and were very interested in it. And we didn't hold back in telling them what we were doing and how we were doing it, but nobody else was doing it. So we decided we'd do it ourselves. So we approached a couple more universities in Sydney and one in Melbourne, and it's just grown from there.
Obviously quite a significant success, and we're here celebrating 20 years. How do you see the future of education evolving for students and the way they learn?
I think the universities will be relevant, but they will be not the universities as we know them today. We're already seeing a significant movement towards a blended teaching approach. That's effectively where online lectures, but one of the things students still need is that interaction with a face that can help them overcome some of the problems they do come up against. And online pure online just doesn't deliver that. But I think we're going to move to, and the universities will have to move with it, to a very different style of education, which includes very much in a blended approach. But technology is driving all this, and the technology is getting better and better every day. And I even see a future of potentially virtual classrooms where you could be anywhere in the world, sitting in a classroom, and being delivered from a teacher anywhere in the world, but still feel like you're within a university type or a classroom type environment. So there's all these sorts of pretty interesting things that will evolve in my mind, certainly, because technology is just moving so fast, and the capacity to do these sorts of things will occur. I think we'll also move towards what I would call a global education, in the sense that students won't necessarily pick up all of their degree from one university. They'll be able to select different parts of what they want to put together as a qualification, and it could come from anywhere in the world. So there's, in my opinion, a real move, a real opportunity, and I think it will become an absolute certainty that we'll move in this direction where universities are far more global, and effectively means that if universities can't change, they probably won't survive.
Interesting, very interesting. And how would you like Navitas to fit into that picture?
Look, our role has always been around providing this opportunity to transition students across into the environment. Most students need some support, particularly in the first part of their degree. We've always worked in a partnership relationship with universities. We're not out there to compete with them. We work with them. We put together programs that are geared upon taking the real strength of what a university is about in terms of its academic programs, its quality, and all those sorts of things, linking that together with the sorts of things that we do around our capacity to actually find the students for the university programs, but then provide to them, if you like, that bridge between wherever they are and the university itself. And I think even in this new potential virtual world, I think there'll be a real need for these sorts of services. Clearly, we will adapt and change as the environment adapts and changes, and if we don't, we won't survive either. But I just believe that the partnership model will be such a strong part of being able to be successful into the future.
Thank you very much. Oh, one final question. Do you think you'll be moving into working with providers in Asia, for example, then?
It could be. At the moment, our focus has been working with universities in the main destination countries of Australia, UK, Canada and the US and New Zealand as well. But I think more and more we will see this approach where students may, for example, do part of their degree in their home country and come down. That pathway type model has been around for years. It's about how you, but I'm not sure it's been as effective as it could be, and I think there's some real opportunities to be had there. But our focus has principally been in the destination countries. Although in saying that, we do have operations in Singapore and Sri Lanka, one in Africa, college in Africa.
Okay.
But that's not been our major focus up to this point. But certainly, I think it'll be part of the future.
And I've got another question, sorry. But a lot of the key agents in Navitas are here, and there's been some really interesting workshops about how their business will evolve as well, and how Navitas can sort of help facilitate that to some extent. And so how do you think agents will change to fit into the new landscape, especially with digital media and social media?
Yeah. Well, they're changing already. You know, in the old days, an agent's role was they were there as a counsellor, providing advice to students and helping them to select their own institution. These days, with the digital age, students have access to so much information. The role has shifted, and the role has become really much more of a facilitator in taking students and assisting students to actually get down to where the right institution, to the right programs, and so they act as the conduit or the bridge between the student and the institution. That's their major role, I think, these days, and that will continue on. I don't think that will go away.
Thank you very much for talking with us. Thank you.